Okay, so I want to talk about fear in this episode. I seem to be really fearful in life about a lot of things that seem irrelevant. I was going to say in my circumstances they are relevant, but then when you put it into perspective, are they? Right now, for example, I'm at a battlefield. It's called the Battle of Naseby. It happened in 1645. Oliver Cromwell and his men versus King Charles I, I believe it was. I think right now I came here because I thought it really speaks to what I want to talk about. In terms of a battle happened here. Soldiers fought for their lives right here in this very spot. And it's insane that we can just stand here now and nothing, it's almost forgotten. You can drive past it like nothing ever happened here. It's crazy, but anyway. A lot of times when I feel fearful, I put my situation in perspective to the situation of, let's say, a soldier or a Roman or a Greek or whatever it may be back in these days. When one day you could just be farming away, enjoying your life, and then tomorrow the king's army come and you've got to go to war, you've got to go to battle. All of a sudden you're faced against this guy you've never met before, you've never seen before, and all he wants to do is kill you and take what's yours because he's told that you're going to do the same to him. And then when I think about stuff like that, I go, why the fuck am I afraid to open up an email? You know, what's the worst that's going to happen? I can't get a dagger through the screen. But it's weird. But I don't think about that a lot. Because when I do think about that, it helps, but I don't think about that all the time. Because in the moment, I'm scared, I'm shaking, that tightness of the chest starts happening, always, but mainly happens a lot. You know, maybe I get a bit nervous, might get a bit hot and sweaty, and I'm fearful. Just as I'm fearful to continue and post these videos out there on YouTube and social media and things and have people see me, I'm fearful. And of what? What is it really? That's what I want to get down, and that's what I want to know, hone in on. Because what is it really? What am I actually afraid of? It's not hard work. I may be afraid of embarrassment, but what is embarrassment? You know, what helps me a lot, and what I've come to realise, is in the nicest way, nobody truly cares. Some people might watch your videos, in this instance, some people might watch your videos, may have a chuckle, may show their friends because it's a bad video, let's say your early stages. And so what? Who's watching? Do you know that's happening? Can you see them laughing? Can you hear them laughing? Okay, if they're doing it in front of your face, it's a different story, but most of the time, can you see them? No. You might just see your views crop up. You might get excited. There might be 50 of them views that hate watching. But what are we afraid of? Me. What am I afraid of? I heard something that was great. I believe Alan Watts said it, but I'm not 100% sure. But he said that fear almost always comes from situations that hasn't even happened yet. They come from scenarios that you create in your head. For example, if I plan Tuesday, I'm going to record a video. In my head, I'm constantly thinking, is it going to be shit? What am I going to say? What if it doesn't come out the way I want it to? Is anybody even going to watch it anyway? Fuck's the point. And then I don't. And all that whole scenario right there is created in my head. And then I don't do it. And then I just sit and wonder, fuck, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? Why is the podcast not successful? Fucking, why do you think? So my advice to you, future Marcus, my son, if he ever watches these things, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. We need to learn how to respond, not just react. tripping and falling if I'm running really, really fast down a hill is more than likely inevitable. It's bound to happen. I can sit there and make a meal of it and cry and say, why me? Why is it always me? Or I can go, well, hold on a minute, I ran down a hill. My shoelaces were probably untied. What do you think was going to happen? And you carry on. You need to sit there and think, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if I open this email? If it's an email that I'm dreading on opening, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It might be bad news. And if it is bad news, you don't react, you respond. You don't sit there and, let's say it was a proposal for a podcast guest in my instance. I send this really nice email, I think it's going to work, I get a response, and I'm dreading opening the response in case it's a no, in case it's more rejection. And I could sit there and go, shit, it's me, I suck, maybe the podcast isn't good enough, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm a shit speaker and I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do something more logical. That's reacting. Instead I should go, okay, he said no, initial response is, if it is a no, how can I get you in the future? Or what can I do to be better to host you? Why do you not want to be on? He's more than likely going to tell he's more than likely going to tell you in the email response, of course, but respond. Act on that response. Don't sit there and dwell and think, why always me? Sit there and go, okay, I may have done this way, my approach might have been shit, or whatever. How do I move forward? Of course, it is always easier said than done, no matter what. It's always easier said than done. Until you try. And then maybe you start to realise that, you know what, it's actually easier done than said. A good thing I've learned, and I need to remember to do more in my approach, is whenever I sit there in fear, I need to break it down. Well, what am I actually afraid of? And if the option is, okay, I am too scared, I'm not going to do it, think, what happens if I do it? Compare the outcomes. What happens if I go for that job interview that's a bit different but a bit risky, and I just stay here? If I'm miserable the way I am, the option is almost always go for that risky job interview. Or else what? You're going to stay miserable. And that doesn't sound like a nice life. So this is me now. I'm about 12 full podcast episodes in. This is going to be episode 2 of A Competitor's Note. I've took a stupid amount of breaks. I've never clipped any clip in my life of all these podcasts because I don't think I've spoke about shit that's worth clipping. Or at least, how do I go through and pick that stuff out? If I think it's shit, why am I going to use it? But that's the wrong mindset. Just do it. Because it's better than doing nothing. If I'm not happy with my life now, why the fuck would I continue to live the way I live? So we'll see. Time to stop talking the talk and walk the walk. Thank you.